Start the revolution!
In you the people have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You the people have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power, let us all unite, let us fight for a new world, a decent world.
If we continue, the responsibility of a country is not in the hands of a privileged few. We are strong and we are free from tyranny as long as each one of us remembers his or her duty as a citizen.
Good morning, good day, good evening. Welcome back to now the CHADMAN and RANDY show. Yeah, we've changed the title a little bit because, initially I went into this, it was going to be my solo project and it was something that I wanted to do for myself. But along the way, Randy kind of came in and started giving me a lot of input and helping out a lot, and I didn't want to be a kind of selfish, pompous asshole and make things all about me. So what I did was we talked about it, and I think we did the right thing, man. This is the way I think it should be. It's comfortable, you know what I mean? I'm feeling the vibe.
Feels good.
So lots happened, man, in the past week since we recorded last time. Obviously the Powerball. By the time this is uploaded tonight, somebody's life's going to change, or a group of people's life's going to change forever.
Or if it rolls over again.
Could you imagine that?
Riots in the streets, dude.
Dude, so what is it right now, man? It's at
1.4, I think.
$1.4 billion, dude. You know, take the lump sum. Jesus Christ, man. Take the lump sum. If it's 5 people, or a group, like an office, which typically it's what it is, it seems like, right?
That's what we're in. They gave me the list, and I'm like, all right, this is my hit list. If it hits, this is who I'm knocking off. Going down the list, I'm taking them all out, and I'm cashing.
We went and bought them this weekend and didn't win, obviously. This weekend sucked all around, but we'll get to that. And then we're gonna go pick some up today. If I win, I'm still gonna do this show. Let's make a deal right now.
Yeah.
If I win, we still do this.
But it's going to be like live from my being constructed Death Star.
I'm going to have an underground complex, man. I'm going to have a door in the middle of a field. It's just a fucking door. And then you walk down, there's going to be a giant underground complex.
By one of those old missile silos in Kansas.
Yeah, I think maybe I'd still build one out here, though. I like everything out here. I don't know why I moved back. Okay, so this weekend, man, we talked a little bit about football. We're big sports fans, obviously. I know a lot of you guys probably aren't, but it's something we got to hit on, man. I'm a Bengals fan, so if you're not a sports fan, you had to have heard at least somewhere across your news feed or somewhere online about this Bengals-Steelers game. Huge disappointment because the Bengals had that one. I mean, you were there watching it with me. We had it won. And then because of some fucking thug and some, unprofessional athlete, if you want to call him that, the game was lost. Completely lost. 2 of them, actually. It was Burfict and Pac-Man that did it.
Yeah, I mean, Pac-Man's had problems in the past, and the fact is they knew that Burfict, they had Lewis over there, pulled him off to the side, telling him, this is what we have to do, all this. If you know the guy's going to be a problem, the guy's almost becoming almost like a baseball player, or a pitcher that you can't pitch the 9th inning because he's going to blow. If you're having or even a basketball player that can't hit a free throw that they pull in the last 2 minutes of a game for like a hack rule, that if you can't have the guy in there at all, then they need to do something. If you can't have him in the crunch time, they need to do something about him.
He led the league in interceptions. I think he was like 1 or 2. I know going into that game he was. I don't know what happened with the playoffs, but I understand why they kept him in. With the minute left, Ben's driving the ball down the field. Field goal distance is within, I think, 15 yards. And oh, man, when in that hit, I don't know what the rules are exactly. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a sports expert. This isn't ESPN. We're not, fucking sports analysts. But you got to look at it like this, man. If he's running towards a guy, how quick can you maneuver yourself away from the dude? You know what I mean? Your emotions are high. You're about to win this game. That's the only benefit of the doubt I'll give him. However, it's hard to play devil's advocate on this one because the whole game this guy was doing that, and he did it all season.
Well, he threw the difference is he just didn't make contact. He threw shoulder in there. He was trying to hit the guy. The problem that I have, there's a couple problems I have with it, is that these guys, this rule has been changed recently. It's been bred into them to that ball's in the air, guys coming across the middle, you drill them. The rule just changed not that long ago, so it's kind of hard to get that out of them. And they've spent all this time doing this, and these guys get in trouble. And I really don't like the referees, deciding outcomes of games, but it is illegal.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that go into effect, man. But and then it happened again. In the very next play, you had Adam Jones, most known to most people as Pac-Man Jones. What was the penalty that he got? So he had a penalty on pushing a ref or something. Because after this had happened, Joey Porter, one of the coaches from Bakersfield, a lot of you guys know him. He played for the Steelers. Now he's a linebacker coach. He came on the field for whatever reason, which I heard from all these sports analysts that why is a linebacker coach on the field when a receiver goes down? You know what I mean? That didn't make any sense. But anyways, long story short, altercation went on in the field. So now we already had one fine, pushed us down. Gave the Steelers some yards within field goal distance, and now we just pretty much gave the game to him after that second penalty because Pac-Man Jones decided to push a ref or push one of the coaches. I don't know, man. It boils down to this, though. Who are these guys, man? We're all sports fans, and we get really behind these teams, and you're going to be hearing a lot of us as you listen to this show, especially in baseball. That's going to be fun, actually, when they listen to us go around and around, because I'm a Dodger fan. He's an Angels fan, so that's going to be a hoot. But who are these guys, man? Who are these dudes that it seems like they're just rushed through college. It seems like they go to college for one reason, to play sports. Are they pushed through? The
point of going to college is to get a job. If you've got a job that's going to pay that, push it through. You're ready.
And who are these guys, man? What kind of level of discipline do they have? Because I know, you're going to hear me refer to my military experience a lot, but I know that as a soldier, I never did anything that was going to jeopardize my team, jeopardize my platoon, my unit, the mission. I think I said in a video I posted, you can find it on our Facebook page. There were times in combat where, we lost somebody or somebody got hit, and we wanted to go berserk. We wanted to go out there and break all rules of engagement and get our end. But we didn't do that. We were technically losing. We didn't do that because it was unprofessional, and we understood that we had a mission, we had a goal. These guys, how many times do you see these guys? What was that guy on your team on the Dolphins, dude, that stepped on that dude's face?
Sue, years ago.
You know what I'm saying? So you have these guys, getting DUIs. You have, of course, Ray Lewis killed somebody. Hernandez with the Patriots, he just killed somebody. Ray Lewis, of course, got off.
Well, the professionalism too, though. You got to factor in is no matter military, no matter what walk of life you have. If you're having a bad day, one of your customers irritates you, you can't go push them or spit in their face.
Exactly. No, yeah. You can't. So you get these guys, man, and they're making millions and millions of dollars. How much does it really mean to him? I'm pretty sure he's upset still. It hasn't even been a week, but they went home to their fat houses, their cars, their luxurious lifestyle. When they get fined $10,000 for an offense or $20,000 here, $30,000 there, it's nothing to them, dude. It's really nothing to them. Yet, you look at everyday Americans, man, working their asses off and then getting laid off. It just, I don't know, man. I'm all about capitalism. I really am. But there's something definitely wrong with that. I think these players need to be evaluated a little bit better.
On the player side, though, not on the player side, actually, but what really bugs me is when you get these sports organizations, though, that perfect hit. How many years have we got packaged from Sports Illustrated for somebody the greatest hits of the NFL?
Oh, I know, right?
Every one of those hits that they're shown on there would be totally illegal now. And they were at a lot of the times then, and I don't understand them then packaging and selling and making money off of basically an illegal hit, which is in a way promoting. What were they? I don't even know if he won it or not 100%. But they were talking about Alex Rodriguez as comeback player of the year in baseball last year when he was suspended for a drug suspension.
I know, I know exactly. What? Also, I was thinking about right now is that I think it has to do with the pussification of America, dude. I think you look back at the greatest hits in the NFL. What was going on? Look how football was played in the 70s. You look at the way the game was played back then. It would never be played like this. We live in a society now where everyone gets a trophy, everyone gets, something for participating. Nobody wants to be left out.
There is a difference, though, in the fact, though, that those dudes in the 70s, like, the guys playing wide receiver now would have been defensive ends. I mean, these guys are monsters, and they're faster and stronger than they ever were in the 70s.
True.
People would be dying.
But, I mean, you look at this, man. I mean, I don't know. I think there's something definitely wrong with the way we admire these athletes. I mean, I think, I look back growing up, a lot of the guys I looked up to were, of course, Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky. I don't even like hockey. I didn't even really watch it as a kid, but, Wayne Gretzky was like one of the dudes. Bo Jackson, Nolan Ryan, Jose Canseco. I mean, granted, he was roiding. But, I mean, at least these guys weren't out there, at least in the public eye, doing half the shit that these guys are doing out now. And so as having a son right now, I look at, like, who are these guys' role models, You see it everywhere, man. UFC, baseball. I think you said it, man. A-Rod, got busted with with drugs and everything. I don't know, man. I'm not saying all these guys are bad. I mean, I really take my hat off to them. I'm a big fan. I would love to have A-Rod on the Dodgers, at least 1 year. But, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, the whole drug, we can get into this once baseball kicks up, but the whole drug suspension, the steroid thing, I am totally against whatever Major League Baseball is showing on that one, because I like special effects in movies, and so I like special effects in my entertainment. Hate to tell you, sports is entertainment. It's not your life. So would I rather watch a 2-to-1 pitcher's duel, or would I rather watch these roided up monsters hitting 600-foot home runs?
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. I just don't like when these NFL players are costing games, because you said it's entertainment, but I think a lot of us as fans, we get really behind these teams, I think it becomes kind of personal for a lot of us, and just because we fall behind them, it's like a tribal. I think it goes back to like a tribal mentality that we have embedded in us, that we like to get behind certain things we feel connected with. And when you have a team and an organization and their fans really looking forward to the potential championship or, another win in the playoffs, and then some fucking thug decides to like not hold his composure and gives the entire game up. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you can go back and say Hill fumbled the ball and that gave the Steelers them in the first place. But still, regardless, you got to have some level of professionalism, and these guys don't seem to have it. So I don't know. That was my weekend as a Bengals fan. It was pretty
hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I was pissed, man. I was pissed. I think, and it's even worse when like you're losing, and all of a sudden your phone lights up, and you got 37 text messages, 11 phone calls, people blowing you up on social media. It's like, dude, like people just want to just rub it in. You know what I mean? And and I do the same thing, dude. But it does suck. It really does.
Well, I left at halftime because they were still getting shut out, and I went, you know what? Because I had made all jokes all day and all week about you're going to take all your Bengals shit and break it, and there's going to be a fire in the yard, and it was still shut out. And I go, well, you know what? I think this is – and I was waiting to see your son's Bengal cake kicked across the goddamn, rolled across the driveway or something. So I was like, all right, I'm leaving at halftime.
Dude, so in case you didn't know, man, it was my son's first birthday, and we went all out. I got to pick the theme, and I chose Bengals, and everyone that came wore their NFL gear. And it's funny because when the party was over with, right when the game kicked off, I told everyone, I was like, you guys are welcome to stay. Nobody stayed but you, dude. Like, everybody was like, no, we're going to leave, man. I think everybody knew that if this game went sour like it did, it was going to be a bad day in the Garcia house. But, so, hey, man, Bengals are out. Steelers are in. Houston's out. Houston got their ass handed to them. Minnesota lost really bad. That botched kick. Laces were in. That was horrible. Do you see the reactions of the fans? They thought especially the fans, which is why I haven't been to an NFL game since I was a kid, but seeing the videos, like, I want to make sure I have a good seat where I can see the goalpost, because some of these fans in these videos were angled just right to where they didn't know if the kick was good or not. And they screamed like they made it, and then everybody was like, no, he missed it, and like this whole area of fans just lit up. It was pretty funny.
Tell you what, though, watching those games, I claim to be a sports fan, a football fan. Every one of those people, especially at that Minnesota game, are a bigger fan than me, because there's no way in hell am I sitting
-6?
minus 27 degree wind chill factor. Shit, you're out of your mind.
I missed that, man. We lived in Alaska for 4 years, and before I moved back home last year, and I miss it, dude. I was looking at them people. Hey, did you see that old man? Who was that old guy that just walked out with short sleeves? He was like a
He was
Viking.
like coach. He was Bud Carson. I think it was his name. He was the coach.
This old man, dude. This old. If you're not a sports fan, man, we're gonna keep talking for a little bit longer, so just kind of deal with it. But this old former Vikings coach walks out. It's like 0 degrees, -6, -20 with the wind factor. This old man walks out for the coin toss in a short sleeve shirt. He's like fucking 90 years old.
He's probably getting ready to assume room temperature anyway.
Dude, well, this guy walks out, man, in just like hardcore, like beast mode, like old alpha male. Like I played in the 70s here, just owned it, man.
1870s.
That was awesome, dude. I liked it. So
somebody went 4-0 in their picks too.
Yeah, you did. I didn't. I think, dude.
You went 2-2.
I didn't do too well. But I mean, what's the other team that lost?
Packers and Packers.
No, Packers won. Packers are in.
No, but I mean, who'd they play?
Seattle and Green Bay's in.
Oh, Seattle.
So that's it.
Redskins
man.
Lost.
Yeah, no wonder we don't know who it is, because nobody remembers the fucking Redskins, man. That's the worst division in football. The absolute worst. Kudos to them, though. I think Cousins is all right. Well, hopefully they do good next year.
So we picking games this week?
Yeah, I'm going to pick games this week. What do you got?
Patriots over the Chiefs.
You know what, dude? Chiefs are on a win streak, man. They're 11 straight. Although Edelman's coming back. They said Edelman's playing this weekend for New England. So going off the record, I'm going to go with New England just because, they're a powerhouse in the postseason. They got Edelman.
Can we please not hear about Deflategate this whole week? Either?
No, I'm not gonna talk about it at all. I don't even want to bring out the Patriots aside from what I just said. I'll pick them just because Belichick pretty much owns the postseason. The Denver and Steelers game, I'm gonna pick Denver. They're the healthiest they've been all season since before the season started. They're 100% healthy. They got no one on the bench. They're good. So I'm gonna go with Denver.
I just wish we had a better injury report because.
And I'll never pick the Steelers. Even if
I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I mean, I know Roethlisberger's got shoulder ligament damage, and I don't even know if he's going to.
Brown's not playing.
At this point, I don't know if he's going to play.
Here's the deal, man. If Brown comes back,
Brown's not playing.
I mean, here's the deal. If he does come back, then that whole call that Burfict had that lost us the game about him being a concussion and him laying there for 3 or 5 minutes and then being evaluated for concussion, then I'm going to call bullshit on that. And maybe as a fan, I'm being a little bit biased because as someone who has 4 concussions, if you're going to say you're in concussion protocol all week and then you're playing on Sunday, I got to call bullshit. So, I mean.
Well, that their protocol has been kind of under question anyway. Speaking of that concussion movie, that Will Smith movie about the NFL, do you have a feeling that that's been buried a little bit?
Oh, it just came out.
Yeah, it's been out for about it came out right around when Star Wars did, which seems kind of odd in the
that's
timing.
why.
I'm just saying, it just seems like that's been like that. There's even been like maybe a plan, something to get that a little bit.
I wouldn't
buried.
doubt it. The NFL and Disney are like the powerhouses. NFL, Disney, and Coca-Cola and Walmart, America. All right, what's the next game we got?
Packers, Cardinals.
Cardinals, hands down. I'm not gonna let what happened a couple weeks ago and when their beat down at Seattle. Define that. I got Cardinals all the way.
Packers?
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
Going against Rodgers, dude. There's still something I don't trust, and Carson Palmer turned into Carson Palmer sooner or later.
Well, he was a Bengal for a long time, and I was a little upset that he left. But yeah, I just like the Cardinals. I like Floyd. I like Fitzgerald. That's a powerful offense, man, and their defense needs to hold their own too. So I'll go with Arizona.
Now here's the tough one. Seahawks, Panthers.
Oh, shit. I know Panthers are banged up. They didn't end their season as well as, obviously the rest of it went. And, man, Seattle, dude. I'm gonna go with Panthers, man.
Me too.
I'm going to go with Panthers because Cam Newton's probably going to be the league MVP. Yeah, I'm going to go with Panthers.
I mean, there is something about Seattle just finds a way, last week, just finds a way to somehow win. Well, other than the Super Bowl last year.
It's that fourth quarter mentality, man. I mean, and Pete Carroll's a good coach.
The Panthers aren't really proven.
Not yet. I mean, we're about to find out.
But yeah, so I'll take them.
And it's in Carolina too. So So those are our picks, man. So if you guys are sports fans, feel free to go on the Facebook page or message us. Let us know how you guys feel about that. That seems to be what's going to be happening this weekend. Should be exciting. And my team's not in it, and I'm very sad. So with that, that's enough on the NFL. The latest thing that happened last night was the State of the Union. I didn't watch it. I was in school. I'm going to college right now. And to be honest with you, there's not a thing that dude can say that's going to draw my attention. However, the only thing that I think he should have mentioned were the sailors that were just captured on that island off the coast of Iran. Didn't even mention it. Maybe I understand a little bit why, because it was something that was still going down, trying to get him released. But,
could have at least been the typical thoughts and prayers thing. And I don't even know if he did it, because I didn't watch 1 minute of it. I was playing Call of Duty.
I don't know. If you watched it, let me know. But I didn't see any kind of highlight on it. Another thing that kind of irked me and kind of bothered me was that empty seat he left for gun control victims, all the people who have died from, not gun control victims, but from a mass shooting victims. They left the empty seat next to his mongoloid wife. Here's the thing, man. You can leave empty seats for a lot of people. How about service members who've been killed? I know it's getting kind of old to some people because the war's been going on for so long, but people are still dying. We just had people die. A special forces soldier die in the past week. I think it was about 10 days ago, and before that, some guys got killed outside of Bagram. No mention of it, none. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from people who've been killed by mass shootings, but I'm just fed up with this guy. I think I'm fed up with politics, period. Where obviously we're going to be talking about it because it's an election year and because a lot of the stuff these idiots are doing affects us. But I don't know. It just seems like it's a dog and pony show every single time, man.
Well, I just feel that really, when it really gets down to it between Democrats and Republicans, there's at most 3% difference in all of them. Just it's what side they sit on, but when it comes down to it, it's all bought and sold by the same people, the companies, whoever's doing it. And really, when you get down to it, there's just that 3% difference, I feel. And the fact is the lack of compromise is pointless at this point, because now it's used against you in a campaign. Now, if you did compromise with somebody from across the side, they're going to be like, so-and-so compromised with the other side, and now they must be voted out of office. I thought the point was to debate and to compromise.
And come together as Americans. That's the whole point. I think we've lost touch with that. And I think actually, you know what, come to think of it, that's one thing he did say that I was reading up on, and I think I saw highlights when I got home last night, is that the one regret he has is the division that's been caused not only in government but throughout America since he's been in office. Well, what do you expect, dude? Remember when that guy came to office? A lot of you guys might not remember or pay close enough attention. When this dude came into office, he sat down with the members of Congress at the time and pretty much, I think, maybe not verbatim, but he pretty much said, hey, the election's over, we won, this is what's going to happen. That's the mentality he had. Go look it up.
The healthcare bill, look at that.
It just shoved down
up everybody's ass. Here you go. This is what's coming out. And now he did that with his gun control that he came out with the other day. Here it is, and that's what it's going to be.
And then he wonders why. And then look at all the race tension that's been happening, man. When he goes down and him and his attorney general go down, Eric Holder go down and support, these victims of mass shoot or these victims of supposedly cop violence. I understand too. A lot of these cops are doing some fucked up things. But in the one case with the who's the kid that robbed the bank or robbed the liquor store and then shot the cop?
Michael Brown. Okay, and he went out. They made a big deal out of it. Well, come to find out, this guy was a piece of shit. This guy robbed the liquor store, and then obviously the cop got off because it wasn't an abuse of power, man. This guy tried to take the cops. We reached in the cop car. Let me ask some of you law enforcement guys listening, because I know there's a couple of them. Somebody reaches into your cop car. What do? Come on. Well, and then the other kid, just a few days, and what was it, Cleveland? The kid who was walking around pointing the BB gun, and the cops pulled up and shot him. Why did somebody call 911 then? Because they thought it was a firearm, and that kid is brandishing it as a firearm. So he was. It's fucking pointless at this point.
Yeah, and that's the main thing I take away. This guy goes in front of Congress and he says, "Oh, I regret the division." Well, dude, he pushed it, man. Like, this guy came into office, and granted, a lot of people didn't like him when he came in, but he pushed it, and that's where we find our country right now, just divided, dude. And I don't know. These politicians are funny, man. I heard somebody say, I think was it Joe Rogan? Somebody was saying that nicknamed them slippery sock wearing empty suits or something like that. You know, have you ever met a politician up front? Like, have you ever like talked to one?
Not really.
I mean, I've met a few of them, and they just, yeah, they're nice guys, and I think like anybody else, they get off on how all these people are like just kind of kissing their ass and brown nosing them. When I went to D.C. recently, we came across some congressmen, and just watching these people that were in my group, I mean, just completely.
Well,
I mean,
they're used car salesmen.
It's like
dude.
they're like rock stars. These people, and I'm like, dude, these people are human beings. They make mistakes, and they're not to be worshipped. And I think that's what happens, man. Is that people get behind these candidates for president or these politicians, and they just idolize them like they're fucking gods. And
Well, they're supposed to be from us, by us. They're supposed to
No
be
better.
representative of us.
yeah,
Right.
no better, man. Equal. They're just going there representing us because clearly you can't get 300 million people in one place to debate.
And that's why
one
there
thing.
needs to be term limits, and these guys shouldn't be sitting in office for 30 years either, because it should, for one, you need new ideas. And once you become a paid professional politician, you are not representative of your people. You're keeping your job.
I think we were talking about addictions on the way coming into the studio. We were talking about how some people can get used to maybe is it fame or money. Obviously, we wouldn't know because we're not on that level. But you know, you look at these people and I think they get addicted to it. They get addicted to these rallies. I mean, I've been to a couple political rallies too. Don't let me fool you, okay? There was a time where I was a total right-wing Republican, flag waving. You know, all I saw was, you know, the Republican Party, and I even volunteered at one time with my wife, and I was all about that. But you begin to see what it's all about, and you get to see these rallies and how these people just, I mean, if you've ever been to a large concert, like Randy and I have been to a lot, and you see the band comes out and it just erupts, it's the same thing when these politicians come out, and I think there's something fundamentally wrong with that. You know, go and worshiping these people. And of course they get addicted to it. Of course they don't want to leave office. They got lobbyists coming at them every day, throwing them money and donations, and they get free shit. I mean, and then they get to go make huge laws and huge decisions. That, I mean, the power trips these people must have, dude. It must be.
Well, I mean, you know what the trick is? The trick is to actually get all the money, get all the free shit, and keep the status quo. Don't really change anything. That's the whole gimmick that they're pulling, because it's like with cancer research. Let's say that you're able to solve cancer tomorrow. How many people would be out of a job? It'd be over. So if these guys really went through, busted their ass, not saying that there still wouldn't be work to do, but these guys aren't going to put themselves out of work. The best is to keep the status quo, keep the fight going, and then they're just button heads forever, and we're the dummies that are, you know, we're being distracted with little stupid shit that's going on in the world. I mean, hell, the Rams moving to L.A., the Golden Globes, whatever little nonsense that pops out to this issue, this divisive issue. While they're distracting us, they're stealing the money out the back door.
That's why I've said for a long time, and I always post about it, and I get called a tinfoil hat wearer, is because when, like, Michael Jackson died, you know, I was posting about it. I was like, pay attention to Congress, pay attention to the government, and sure enough, man, they pushed little things through the door. You know, they'll do that, man. When everyone's attention is turned away, whether it be like a huge sporting event like Randy just said, or someone passing away, that's when they're gonna get together and put their little heads together and, you know, smoke their cigars and sit there in closed rooms, and that's when they're gonna make all the decisions that's gonna affect us. And you're gonna be like, wait, what just happened? I mean, just recently, man, there was that TTP or the TPP that went through. There was the Patriot Act that everyone seemed to have a problem with, that we enacted after 9/11. That got reinstated recently, and nobody pays attention. All they care about is Kardashians. They care about, you know, these celebrities that die, and it is sad. David Bowie passed away, and you know, it is sad that these legends like Lemmy, you know, for all of us, you know, heavy music listeners, you know, Lemmy passed away. It is sad. These are icons. These are people who did amazing things, but we shouldn't let that distract us from the important issues, man.
Well, how many things do you think, like, that they let out, or not just them, but I mean people in the media, whatever, when a scandal breaks, that the resolution comes on a Friday, because then they know they've got Saturday and Sunday to let it die down. By Monday, some new goofy shit will come out that somebody will post something on Facebook, some nonsense about red cups, Starbucks doesn't love Jesus, or some shit that everybody will care about the next day.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now, man. It says Trump's best bet. Dude, we're looking at a potential President Trump.
I love it.
Think
and
about
not
that.
for him. I love it for. We're not going to have a revolution anymore. It's over. We don't have the stick-to-itiveness to have a revolution. We can't fight out. We don't have the stick-to-itiveness of the people to let our soldiers go out and fight and win a war that they can win and give them all the tools to do it. So we sure as shit aren't going to feed the tree of liberty with patriots' blood anymore. That's over. The best way to have this revolution without a shot being fired is they got an agenda politician in the last time. Everybody's like, it'd be cool to see. Or a wacky bit. It'd be cool to see Obama win just to see what happens. Well, this way, let's go the other way. And if we get 2 elections in a row off of bullshit, maybe everybody will realize that it is all bullshit, and then maybe we'll have a possible real election, or maybe people's votes will matter. They'll care who they vote for, and maybe we'll get a decent third-party candidate and actually have a legitimate shot at it.
Right. I mean, somebody actually who wants what's best for this country. Where are those people? You know what's funny? That I bet you right now there's somebody, if not listening to this, there's somebody somewhere in America who's making $40,000, $50,000 a year, you know, and is really super intelligent and understands how to fix certain
He's
things.
sitting right next to you, dickhead.
Yeah. But there's people out there, dude, like who can fix this. But it's because these politicians are so fat. Their pockets are so fat and they're so deep and they're just bought and they're just so fake. You know, I think what people like about Trump is that he'll go out there and he'll say what's on his mind. And for me, I love that, dude. I love that. I love how he's like, really, he's all about saying, you know, he says what he means and he means what he says. And I think I live by that. I mean, I'm not going to hold back. Freedom of speech is what got me started on this whole podcast thing. But I think that's the appeal. But you got to be really careful about that, is because you don't really know. I mean, this guy's talking about building walls and having Mexico pay for it. I mean, he says things that we like. Yeah, we want a wall on our border. We don't want people coming over. I mean, you know, how many people out there listening right now work in the oil fields and are laid off or are worried about getting laid off? You know, I mean, yeah. So illegal immigration and paying for these people to come here illegally, I understand how that can be kind of an issue. So Trump's going to be appealing, you know, but I don't know, man. I mean,
the crazy thing that Trump's got going on, dude, that's amazing, is that, you know, that dude had to live a pretty goddamn clean life, because you know that every reporter, everybody in the media is out there looking to find that, you know, that silver bullet that's going to take him down. And I swear, if you remember the movie Trading Places, that
with Eddie Murphy from the 80s and Dan Aykroyd. Do
you remember the 2 old millionaires that they made the bet, you know, the dollar bet to see if they could change a guy's life?
Yeah, they're also in Coming to America. They have that little... Right.
But I'm telling you, I swear, Donald Trump has a bet with some other billionaire. How much wacky shit can I say and they'll still eat it up or something? Because he started off with, you know, build the wall. I'm going to make them pay for it. And then, I don't know, McCain wasn't a hero. You know, let's attack. I mean, he went after vet. I mean, dude, he has said it isn't fat people. And this guy is just, I mean, he's just killing it. It's hilarious.
I don't understand why a lot of my veteran brothers and sisters, I guess, got upset about that. I know what he was saying. I know what he meant. He said John McCain got famous and known because he got caught. Yes, man. Like, I mean, do you see any other POWs from Vietnam?
Doing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. Fuck that guy. But I mean, he was trying to say that America likes winners, you know, and he likes winners, and I get what he was saying. I understand what he was saying. But you get the people who are narrow-minded, the people who hear that and immediately can't register the meaning behind it. What you have in this country, and I think we were talking about it earlier in the week, is that people do not want to accept change in the way that they're thinking or the way that things are given to them. They like everything to be black and white. They like everything to be just so perfect and honky-dory. And when somebody comes along like Trump or like us with our podcast, and we're calling things how we see them, and we're actually saying, hey, look, man, these guys, this isn't the way that things should be, man. Like this isn't how we think things should be. Soon, like, I'll look at the hate mail I got after our first 2 episodes, man. People don't like other people coming and breaking the norm. And I think what Trump's doing is he's breaking the norm.
What you need to do every once in a while, whether the person's right or not, is take a flashlight, look in the dark corner, make the roaches run, scare them a little bit. You know, I mean, even if you're right or wrong, at least being right, like having the right idea, and it all comes from the same. If you're doing it with good intentions, it comes from the same place. Now, whether you're actually right or wrong, what you're trying to achieve is the same thing.
Yeah, I feel you exactly, and
there's no bad question.
I look at these politicians, man, and I'm like, they're so fucking fake, man. When you look at them debate, I sit there and I don't know how I sit through half of them because they're so fake. The fakest of them all is that Marco Rubio. Him and that Ted Cruz they ask him a question. It could be about healthcare, and they'll be like, "Thank you for the question. My mother came here, an immigrant, and was saved through the Lord Jesus Christ." And then they got him. You know, by saying that without even answering the question, they have like half the evangelical church-going people who eat apple pie and, you know, go to church and play fucking bunco on Tuesday nights. You know, they got those women. And then, you know, Rubio will go counter it, and he'll say something like, you know, "Well, yes, thank you for the question, and I'm all about freedom." And they just, before even answering the question, they just
there's the bullet
put
points.
on the act.
There's bullet points. It's God, military, puppies, and, you know, children. There you go. We got it all.
Yeah. My mother was a single mother, and it's like, and they do this, and you got to give kudos to these advisors, whoever advises these people, because they know how to sell to people. Trump gets up there and he's making faces, he's rolling his eyes. I mean, if I was a candidate, I'd be Trump, because I'd be up there looking at these people like, "Is this fucking guy serious, man? Like, are you for real? Like, come on, man, answer the damn question." And then he'll come out and he'll say, "Look at this girl's face." Like, that's what's funny is that when he said that thing about Carly Fiorina, and he was like, "Look at her face." He's like, "Would you want that as your president?" Like, dude, that right there for me was the selling point on this guy. Do I want him for president? I'm not 100% sure, but that was my selling point on liking this dude up there, at least running for president, because he's out there attacking people because he knows that this woman's face is full of Botox. You know, he knows that she's out there just putting an act on. He knows that this guy's out there just trying to, you know, win over evangelicals, and this guy's only bringing up his single mom who was saved by the Lord so that he can, you know, bring in certain people. Trump doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need anyone to pay for him. He's up there pretty much paying for this all himself, saying what he wants, pissing people off. And look, he's drawing crowds, dude. I mean, I'm reading this right now. He's got the largest crowds of anybody in any party.
Well, and don't be fooled. You know who else wants it? You know who wants him to win? All the people that say they really hate his guts, like Michael Moore, all those late night talk show guys, the liberals, and like the Saturday Night Live people, because they're going to have their material written at least for them for the next 4 years, possibly 8 years, without having to do shit. You know how easy it'd be to do Trump bits every day?
Oh, I know.
It's going to be so fucking hack by then, even though they've been afraid. How many times have they been afraid to touch Obama? Like, they will lightly, Saturday Night Live will or whatever, but he's got none the goofing on.
That's because everyone's afraid of being called a racist,
right,
man.
the goofing on that Bush got.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you remember the TV show on Comedy Central? It was called, was it called That's My Bush?
Yeah.
Do you remember? There was a TV show right before 9/11. I suggest you guys go check this out. Go on YouTube or Google and look it up. It was on Comedy Central right before 9/11, and it was called That's My Bush. And the entire show was based, That's My Bush. It was called That's My Bush, and it was in 2001. The entire show was a parody of George Bush and his White House, making fun of him. It was this guy walking around like a bumbling idiot. I mean, that was a TV show based on, you know, making a parody of the president. You never saw that with Obama. I mean,
how did Jeb though, like, overtake the stupid title in the Bush family, according to what everybody thought? Because, well, I guess it was his campaign sign that just says Jeb with an exclamation point at the end of it stinks too. But I mean, this guy took over everybody was already deemed the last Bush the dumbest man who's ever held the office on the planet and everything. And then this guy, he's just taken over. He's killing it.
I mean, look, man, I think when people start looking at Bush and Clinton, they don't want to have a dynasty in this country. That's not what America was founded upon. Think about how that will look on the line of presidencies, man. It's going to go Bush, Clinton, Bush, and then you got this black guy, Obama, who doesn't look anything like anyone else or have the name, and then you got Clinton again, or a Bush getting elected. Hopefully none of that happens. But I mean, you look at these, people don't want that. People don't want this family with all this power. It's not what we were set up on. You know, the Kennedys. I think the last great president was John Kennedy. I mean, America was definitely at its peak when he was president. And look what they did when he came out talking about secret societies and when he was talking about, you know, making changes and stuff. They wasted him, man. I mean, they blew that guy's head off in public. Like, that's some gangster ass shit right there, man. They did not give a fuck. And I mean, you got to look at it, man. You got to look at where we're at and where the money's at. We said it, I think, last episode, follow the money. And Trump isn't getting any money from anybody. He's paying for it himself. You may not like it, but if you want to look at the American dream, he's it. Whether you like him or not, whether you can't stand his hair, whether you can't stand what he says about Mexicans, whatever, that he's it. He's the epitome. He's what we all want to be, man.
The one that drove me nuts with the Trump thing too, that like people freak out over, is when he's talking about illegals. My wife is Mexican. And not her. She sees it, but I've argued with people he's not talking about kicking Mexican Americans out.
Well, people are ignorant, dude. People are dumb. People hear him say stuff like that, and they suddenly think he's a racist, white, just bigot who wants to just kick, you know, everyone that works at, you know, La Mina and send them home.
I mean, you as a legalized citizen shouldn't. That makes your citizenship devalued by having people in. Somebody along in your family went down the line and did all the steps that it took for them to become legal so that you were born in this country to be legal. So then whoever did it for you is being shortchanged.
Yeah, and you got to be careful, man, because I don't want us to seem like, I don't want people listening to be like, oh, these guys are sitting here on their podcast, third episode, you know, making Trump seem like he's the guy. I'm just calling it like I see. I'm looking online right now. I mean, the guy's banging these polls out, dude. I mean, polls are polls, but look at his crowd. I mean,
you got a year. You know, it could go to shit in 2 minutes. And,
it could. I mean, something
fine.
can come out. But, I mean, right now, if the election were held today, it'd be Trump and Hillary. And who would you pick? Or would you just not even vote? And while we're on that subject, do you vote? When's the last time you voted?
I'll vote almost every election. I mean, I voted the last one.
I didn't vote too much when I was in the Army because absentee ballots are shit, and yeah, you're entitled to it, and yeah, it makes you feel special, but by the time you get your ballot and then mail it back, the fucking election's already been held. You know, they're not holding the election off to wait and see, you know, if Sergeant Snuffy, you know, from Germany has cast his vote. So, you know, I didn't vote too much because I didn't see that it was worth it. But last year we did. There was a vote we participated in. But if it was between these two knuckleheads, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want my vote to go to either of them. I don't want to be forced to have to choose. And of course, I would never, in my right mind, ever. I would jump into a fucking Shark Tank before I voted for Hillary. It just wouldn't happen. Hell no. Nope.
The thing with voting in this state, it's like I'm really usually care more about your local election and stuff because you know which way this state's going. I mean, with the Electoral College, it's pretty much, you know, this state is going to go blue every time. And whether that's right, wrong, indifferent, I don't care. I mean, so that's neither here nor there to me. What I want is I can't say that I'm Republican because I don't like a lot of the based in religion, really. And they're too all God, all powerful, everything in that. And then on the other side, it's too liberal, too PC, all that. So I'm gray in this issue. I need something different.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%. And it brings us back to what we were talking about football, man, about these personalities. I mean, you know, who are these people, really? I mean, you're talking about Trump being squeaky clean. He's either paid a lot of people off or he's managed to...
There's a lot of bodies somewhere.
There's a lot of bodies piled up, man, or he's a goddamn kingpin. I don't know. I mean, who are these people, man? You know, you see these politicians fuck up left and right, man. Look at that Anthony Weiner guy who, no pun intended, was sending...
Name always
He was
fits.
sending dick pics. He was sending dick pics to all these people. You know what I mean? And he was like, what was he, a governor?
Nah, he was
Senator, whatever. He's a congressman, man, a well-known congressman too. You know, then you had a couple years back, you had that one congressman who was in the bathrooms of the Capitol, tapping people's foot. What would you do, dude? If like, you know, you haven't been to the Capitol in a long time, man. You know, you never
wasn't in an airport somewhere. He did like an airport in Minnesota or something.
Okay, even if what would you do? You're sitting there, you're about to take a shit. You're sitting there on the toilet. You're doing your thing in in a public restroom, and all of a sudden someone's foot comes under and just starts tapping you.
Laugh my ass off.
I think I would too, man. I think I'd be like, what the fuck is happening right now? But that's what this congressman was doing, and then you look at Bill Clinton, the most famous of all, man. Start getting blowjobs in the Oval Office, where I think it's hysterical. His wife is going to want to sit. These politicians are no different. I think it just goes to show that we're very human. No matter how much money you make, no matter how much fame you have, no matter how much your celebrity status is or isn't, we're human. And basic human needs and desires such as wealth, the search for power, it's all addicting. Seriously, man, me and you, if we were to win this Powerball tonight, you think it'd be the same people that woke up this morning? Hell no. Hell no. We might say we want to be, but money.
No, I'd be the same asshole. I just have the power to make shit happen.
I mean, I'm not trying to say I'd like turn my back on people, but I mean, money changes people. Power changes people. And that's what you see with athletes, celebrities, and politicians. And to that matter, even those of us who, how many of you out there have had a family member come up on, a settlement or a big job or a friend?
Have somebody in your family die and have a will be contested or something in there with a little bit, and we're not even talking large amounts of money, a few thousands of dollars, and watch everybody just go to killing each other and just, destroy family type that'll never be repaired.
Well, I've always said for the longest time, weddings and funerals bring the worst out of people, and I think it's because the status, the money, and I guess because everyone's trying to have power during weddings. The wife's family is always trying. And that's
with that and
there's always like
that
a
everybody
power
has
trip.
to put on.
There's a show, the Dog and Pony Show. And there's like a power trip that somebody has to put on, and it's always about the bride, and that's I'm not taking anything away from weddings, but that's the truth, man. Well, a lot of you know that weddings bring the worst out of people. Funerals the same way. My grandpa just passed away, and that wasn't exactly your movie funeral. It was, well, maybe it was. There was a lot of bad negativity that came out because just a lot of emotions and people wanting to play power trips. And I think that it's in our human nature to be corrupted by power and money. And it's just, I just think we're animals, man. Like we're animals. We might have brains. We might send men to the moon and create fucking iPhones, but we're animals. And, we haven't even looked at the depths of the ocean or, gone that far into space, and we think we have the answers to everything. Power changes people. Position, it's just a fact of life, the fact of life. I think it's exactly, but what you see with Trump, man, is that this guy just doesn't give a shit. He's not being bought and told. I love it. I love that about him. If that alone would determine, I guess that alone won't determine my vote for him, but I love it, dude. I love seeing him. I love him just putting people in check. I love it. I can't say it enough. I just think it's awesome. And then watching other people try and do the same thing, they don't have it. Like, they don't have what he has. They try and do it, but they don't.
He comes out quick and hits hard, and they've got nothing. Is it unprofessional? Maybe, but their so-called professionalism, we've run that bit long enough, and that gets nowhere. Nobody is saying the words. Nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings. They're not cutting the quick. They're spending too much time in skirting around the issue instead of getting right to it.
Look, dude. Obama chief of staff promises audacious executive action in final year. So presidents have the right to executive actions, right? They do have that. It's constitutional. But what do you mean by saying audacious executive action? It's another guy. Obama, I think his power's gone straight to his head, but it's taken a toll. Have you seen that guy's pictures?
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of him from like 2008 and then how he's evolved?
That thing beats. Look at Clinton.
I don't think these people know what they're getting themselves into, man. If you look at these presidents and then look at when they run and then look at them 8 years later or 4 years later, whatever their term is, I think they get in there on their first day. They get inaugurated. They have that big ceremony. Everyone's there. They're on the steps of the White House. The former first family leaves. And I think they get in there and there's dudes in like black suits with like this book. And
this is the old Bill Hicks bit. I think it was Bill Hicks that used to do it.
Is that what it is? And then I think the curtains go down, the blinds go down, and they just divulge what the fuck is really going on.
Here's everything, and here's the last asshole who didn't listen.
Yeah.
Kennedy. And you get that picture, and you see the shooters. Yeah, this is an old Bill Hicks bit, I believe it was.
And that's got to be the way it is, though, because suddenly nothing comes true. I mean, come on, man. Nothing these fucking people say ever comes true, dude. I mean, how much of the stuff they promise really happens? Well, I mean, granted, he did say he was going to put healthcare through, but you look at the overall picture of everything, nothing that these people say ever truly 100% comes true, and we always suffer.
Well, I mean, on the Hillary, with the Hillary thing, with her running too, it's like, okay, what is she? Their big promise was they were going to get Hillary care done in the 90s. Didn't happen. Then her job, Secretary of State. What happened there?
Benghazi.
Lies. Nothing. I mean, nothing. She has produced nothing.
Oh, I mean, 6 people are dead because of her actions in Benghazi.
Missing hard drives and shit.
I'm gonna go see that movie though. I want to go see it.
It's gonna look like Transformers.
It is gonna look like Transformers without Optimus Prime. Wouldn't that be fucking hysterical though? Is if you're halfway through it and it just suddenly turned into something you weren't expecting. Like all of a sudden Optimus Prime just fucking billows down and starts saying "roll out" like in the middle of Benghazi.
Michael Bay movies. I mean, who knows? Will Smith and Martin Lawrence might show up because it looks just like Bad Boys. All his movies look the fucking same.
They do, man. Oh my god, that guy! Everything, huh? Even Turtles, Ninja Turtles. I was kind of disappointed in that.
I mean, Black Hawk Down looks the same.
No, Black Hawk Down was Oliver Stone.
No, it wasn't.
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure it's a Michael Bay movie. I know Pearl Harbor was, and it looks exactly like the rest of them.
No, dude, I think Black Hawk Down was Oliver Stone.
No, well, I don't
the dude that did Gladiator. How many of you guys seen Revenant? I'm gonna catch it probably tonight or tomorrow. Everyone's talking about it. Revenant seems to be a really good movie. I'm not even a big Leonardo DiCaprio fan, but that goes okay. There's another example of like personality, like just. So why do we got to feel obligated to give this guy an Oscar? I mean, he's made a lot of movies, but they make such a big deal. I guess how many times has he been nominated? Who knows? I don't watch
it. It was Ridley Scott who did Black Hawk Down. My bad.
Ridley Scott. Yeah, there you go. He did Gladiator too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand why we have to feel pressured to give this dude an Oscar, to this Leonardo DiCaprio guy. That even his real name?
I think he's got a pretty good life going right now anyway.
Is that even his real name?
I'm sure. He's had it, I think, since he was on Growing Pains. So.
If I got famous, I'd change my name to something, like something different. What would you change your name to? I would change it to something like totally audacious. Just like this Obama guy said, audacious. I don't know, man. I'm going to go see The Revenant, though. I want to see what it's all about. I think that... probably going to be a good movie. It kind of reminds me. Did you ever see that movie with Liam Neeson where he's chased by the wolves?
It's similar. There's parts like stuff that you'll see familiar. The thing with that movie is the way that it's filmed and just the things that happen.
What's the premise of it, man? It's just this dude in the woods. He's like a trapper.
They're trappers. They're fur trappers. They get attacked by natives and wipes out. There's 60 or so of them. Wipes out at least half of their guys, so they're on foot to try and get out of there, and they're being chased. Because
like I know I did watch on the news they showed him giving a speech, and he gave this big long. Because I guess the Golden Globes are just this weekend. I don't watch those stupid shows. I don't waste my time with it, but I guess he gave a big long thank you speech to the Native American population in America, and like he went on about it. So obviously, but you don't see any Native Americans in the trailer. I had no idea Indians were even in this movie.
They're in it a lot. The thing with watching this movie is you watch like Tom Hardy and you watch him in this and you hear about like what they had to do to film this movie.
Bane? I was born in the darkness.
And like with the filming schedules and the cold and everything they had to deal with, and you look at it and you're like, these guys are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Why the hell are they doing this? I mean, it's filmed. It's a great looking.
Well,
movie.
Who's that one actor? Dude, what's his name, man? I was just reading something on Chive about this actor who goes way above and beyond for his roles. Christian Bale obviously did when he lost all that weight right for that movie he made right before Batman. What Daniel Day-Lewis? I guess that dude.
He's a psychopath.
I guess that dude goes like above and beyond, man. He like literally becomes the character.
Yeah, he's a psycho.
But I mean, hey, man, it wins. I mean, it. I guess it's part of what they do, though. I mean, it wins. It obviously the
There Will Be Blood is a 10.
I thought, yeah, that was a great. That's the one. That's the one where like he was like beating people up, outside. Like he would go out in public and beat people up and shit. Oh my god, I don't know, but it builds on their personalities, and it would be hard to, I guess, be friends with an actor because you never know really who you're talking to. I have a really good friend. I actually want him to come on the show. He's down there in Hollywood right now, and he just did a movie. His name's Jesse O'Neill. and he made a movie. It was at a lot of film festivals. It was called Actor for Hire, and it's based on him trying to get a job in Hollywood. And it's pretty much like his life story. Really good, really good flick. He's a good friend of mine. But one thing I've always wanted to ask him, and I never really have, because typically when we hang out, we just bullshit, is with actors, do they know who they are? I mean, you look at somebody like Johnny Depp. Does that fucking dude know who he is? When he looks in the mirror, who does he see?
Some of them are pretty wild. I mean, there's a lot of them that know that they're playing pretend for cash, but then
after a while,
get the psychos.
I mean, but after a while, who the fuck are you? Like, I don't know, man. And then you hear him talk, and it's like, I mean, okay, who am I talking to?
Well, then they start believing their own bullshit, and they get into conversations about their process and all that other shit. How about you go do your work, stupid, clock out, and go live your life?
Yeah, exactly. And it boils down to this personality decision. I think that's what we're going to call this episode. But it's these personalities, man. The politicians have it, the athletes, the celebrities. You have it, man. I really, really want to talk to an actor, a semi-successful actor. I think Jesse's just starting out, and he's actually really successful in everything he's done. I'd like to talk to him about it because he's super smart. But I'd like to one day interview an actor who's been doing this for like 20 years. And when you go home, because it's like in the Army. I mean, my wife used to complain, like, I would come home and she'd expect me to leave work at home, like leave the Army at home. And I'd come home and I'd still be, Sergeant Garcia. And she hated that. Can actors, I mean, how easy is it to turn that switch off? And I guess that's with anything. Cops, like you were saying, it's with any profession. I mean, do you eventually become...
Well, I mean, but that's as much, though, too, is it the job or is it your personality? Because there are people who can just do that, too.
Yeah.
But then again, does that make you the crazy one?
I don't know.
If you are a cop and you can go out there and you just waste somebody, and then say there is a shooting and you're just like, you get home and go, fuck it, what's on TV tonight? And you're cool. I mean, are you the crazy one then?
I know. That's a good question. I don't know. I did grow up. Okay, so I did grow up. I know a lot of law enforcement guys, that I went to school with, and they're cops now, or I was in the military with. But I remember really, I don't want to drop any names, but I remember growing up with a guy, and both his parents were cops. And we would always spend the night at each other's houses, but we never stayed the night at his house because they were just fucking dicks, man. Like, the parents were not friendly, and nobody wanted to go there. That wasn't the house you wanted to go stay the night
you know
at.
what, though? But that could also be like a little revisionist history, too, and that's also, you're young, don't like the cops, man, shit. I mean...
Yeah, maybe.
You do. When you own a house and you have a car and you realize that part of the reason that your shit is not being stolen and your windows aren't getting kicked in is because of law enforcement, you become a little more friendlier to, like, fucking pigs, man, all that bullshit.
But then I knew other people, though, I'm thinking about this, whose parents were, I think, retired cops, and their house was cool. It was like, maybe it's because they're retired.
I was going to say, retired.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, does Trump, so behind closed doors, is Trump, he's a grandpa, right? He's got grandkids?
Yeah.
Like, is he Grandpa Donald?
No, I mean, they play that on TV, but I'm sure he's yelling for his housekeepers and nannies to get these little dirty shits away from me.
I mean, do they know their grandpa? I mean, and that's do you ever see like politicians after debates, all their families come out and they're just waving and they're holding the grandkids, and are you really like that? When you're not, sipping tea with diplomats and getting bought by corporations and all these, lobbyists, are you really that? Is that who you really are? I mean, I'm sure they're out there. Kevin McCarthy seems to be pretty legitimate. I don't know, as far as we know. I mean, there was that rumor about him.
There was kind of a quick...
that kind of came and went real quick, right?
Just about as easy as that Russian rocket that was flying around Christmas that nobody happens to bring up anymore.
I know, man. How many of you here in California saw that? Or saw it on the news? It was right around Christmas time. Apparently a Russian rocket... Literally, that was the official story from NASA and from the government. A Russian rocket just crashed somewhere out in Mojave.
No biggie.
Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, they said it was a satellite coming to Earth, but I mean, that's kind of a big deal to me. What was in that? What was that? I don't know. We don't need to know. We're not important, right? We're just people hosting podcasts and working 9 to 5s and, doing nothing. I don't know. All right, guys. Hey, we appreciate it. This has been a good episode talking about personalities and sports and politics. Be careful who you follow, man. I mean, even when you're listening to us, you don't know who I am. I could have a hole in my dungeon, or a dungeon with a hole in it in my garage.
I don't have any answers.
Lotion, you know?
Don't have any answers, but
you
ask
put
a
the
shitload
lotion.
of questions.
You put the lotion on the skin. I might be that guy. You never know. I'm not. All right, man. So this has been fun. Randy and Chadman show now. The Chadman and Randy show.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out as we go. Chadman.